Hello students, I hope you all are fine and safe. In the previous video, we started with lesson 3 in geography, that was migration, and we did part A of the lesson. Now today we'll complete the remaining portion of the lesson, that is part B. And before starting with the lesson, let's have a quick recap of what we had already studied. So let's begin. We studied the meaning of migration. Now, migration is defined as the movement of human beings from one region to another, either to settle definitely or temporarily. So, if a person is moving from one place to another, it is termed as migration. Next, we studied about some of the terms related to migration. They are immigration. Immigration means the movement of people to a country, and the person who settles in a new country is known as an immigrant. Next was emigration. Now, emigration means the movement of people from a country, and a person who leaves a country is known as an emigrant. Next was the meaning of brain drain. Now, brain drain can be simply defined as the mass immigration of technically skilled people from one country to another country. Means the people who are technically skilled are having good technical skills and training. They are leaving their own country and they are serving the other country. Next, we learned about the types of migration. It was basically divided into two categories, place-based and reasons-based. And in the last video, we studied about the place-based. And place-based is further divided into internal and international migration. And reasons-based is divided into pull factors and push factors. According to place-based, the first one is internal migration. Now, the migration that occurs within a country's borders is known as internal migration. And the second type of place-based migration is international migration. Now, international migration is the movement of people from one country to another country. So up till here was the recap. So we'll do the second type of migration, that will be reasons based, that is the pull and the push factors. So let's start with their meaning. Now the question arises, why do people move to a different place? So there are certain push and pull factors which are responsible for it. So let's study them. So let's see, what does push factors means. Push factors are the factors that encourage an individual to leave his or her homeland or country. And pull factors are the factors attracting an individual to settle in another country. Now we'll see to some of the causes of migration under push and pull factors. Under the push factors of migration, the first one is war or conflict. Now, if there is a state of war or any conflict in the country of origin, the residents of that place don't want to live there and they want to leave the country. So they want to migrate. The next point is natural or man-made calamities. Now, if in the place of origin there are a lot of natural or man-made calamities like floods, droughts, earthquakes, etc., it forced the people to leave that place. The next point is poor infrastructure. For example, in the villages, the infrastructure is poor, so it leads to rural to urban migration. Now, in some cases where people from developing or underdeveloped countries move to developed countries for better living standards and for better education. Next point is political factors. Lack of security, political disturbances also drive people away from their homes. For example, large population has migrated from Kashmir and Assam due to disturbed political condition. Many people also migrate due to unfavorable government policies. Next we come to the various pull factors of migration, and the first one is economic factors. In most cases, migration is an outcome of economic reasons. Now these factors include unemployment, underemployment, low income, lower wages, lack of alternative sources of earning. Now these factors act as a push factor, whereas better employment opportunities, higher salary act as pull factors. Now, these pull factors attract the migrants to an area. Next point is education. Now, this factor plays a major role in rural urban migration. Generally, what happens, the education facilities are lacking in rural areas, especially higher education. The quality of education is also poor, and therefore, people migrate from rural areas to urban centers for better educational facilities. And the next point is marriage. Now, this is an important social factor of migration. In most of the families, the girls have to migrate to their husbands or in laws' place of residence after marriage. Next, we come to the consequences of migration. That is, what happens when people migrate? Generally, people move from places of low opportunities and low safety to places of higher opportunities and better safety. This in turn creates both benefits and problems for the areas. So let's study the consequences, which are categorized as economic, demographic, social, and environmental one by one. So let's start with the consequences of migration, and the first one is economic consequences. Now, migration of people has a direct impact on the economy of the country they migrate from and migrate to. It has both positive and negative impacts, so let's study them one by one. The country they migrate to gains and the supply of labor increases, which in turn increases the production and consequently the national income increases. And it has got a negative impact also. Now, the negative impact of immigration on economy is loss of jobs for the locals and a burden on natural resources and public services. The next one is the demographic consequences. Now, migration leads to redistribution of population within a country as people are migrating from one place to another. Age and skill selective migration from the rural areas to urban areas or developing countries to developed countries has an adverse effect on the demographic structure. This leads to serious imbalances in age and sex composition in areas of high out migration, and similar imbalances are also seen in recipient states. Next comes social consequences of migration. Now, it has both positive and negative impact. The positive impact is migration leads to intermixing of people from diverse cultures because people are moving from one place to another and people of different culture and languages they are intermixing. Then it leads to evolution of composite cultures. It breaks the narrow considerations. Then the negative impact is it leads to anonymity or social vacuum and a sense of dejection among individuals. Now, continued dejection lead to antisocial activities like crime and drug abuse, and family breakdown is also one of the negative impacts of migration. Next, we come to environmental consequences of migration. Now, in environmental consequences, overcrowding of people due to rural urban migration has put pressure on the existing social and physical infrastructure in the urban areas because population is more and resources are less. This ultimately leads to unplanned growth of urban settlement and formation of slums. Other than this, due to overpopulation, the cities are facing acute shortage of water, air pollution, and there is no proper disposal of sewage and material wastes. With this, we come to an end of our lesson migration. I hope you all have understood it well. I'll be sending you the question and answers, which has to be written in the notebook, and the exercises to be done in the textbook. So we'll start with the next lesson in the next video. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good day. Thank you.